Hi guys, thank you so much for joining us. I am Christina Garnett, the Marketing Director here at the Roanoke Regional Small Business Development Center. Thank you so much for joining us today, and today's FAQ is going to be about websites for small businesses. So when you're thinking about having a website, I'm going to go ahead and stop any major questions you might have by saying you have to have one. It's 2016, almost 2017, and think about yourself as a consumer. Anytime you're looking for a business, if you're looking for what they have to offer, if you have a specific need, then you're going to be looking for a website and you're going to be looking to find somebody that's online. Now, what would you do if you went and tried to find somebody and you weren't able to find them because they had their Google information in there, they had their address, but they didn't have any other information, they didn't have a website? It's going to be really hard for you to choose them over someone who already has an established grouping, that already has an established site. You're going to be able to trust them a lot more. It immediately gives you a sense of legitimacy, so you're going to be able to take them a lot more seriously just by knowing that they do have a website presence. The other thing is that that's going to be a part of your branding. I know that branding is a big kind of trend that that's the buzzword that everyone's using when they're talking about marketing. But it is a real, true, and necessary thing to be able to be a part of your brand, to be a part of your company. So think about it this way. Your website is your one marketing person, your one salesperson that never takes the day off, that never takes the night off, that's working 24 hours a day to spread the message, to be an evangelist for your company, for your services, for your brand. So it's necessary to have that and to have that out there. Now, it's very important. Not all websites are created equally. So you need to really think about what's going to be on there. A bad website can do just as much damage as no website at all. So for instance, like we said, let's see if you are out there. We're talking about Generation C now. It is the educated consumer, the connected consumer, the consumer that always has their phone with them, that's looking for reviews, that's looking for research, that's standing in Target right now, trying to see if they can get a better deal somewhere else. That person is going to be looking for you online, and they're going to be looking for you on mobile. So when they see your site and your site is not mobile optimized, which means that it basically looks the same, it's just kind of smushed together for a mobile site, that can be enough right there for them to really think about, is this really what I want is this really the company that I want to be able to give me these services? Is this really the brand that I'm going to be looking forward to, especially if they don't have any prior knowledge or any prior experience with your product or your service? So really think about that. The other thing is that you really need to think about what exactly needs to be on your website. You don't want to just throw things out there into the universe, and I know I've said that before, but it's very true. You need to have everything with a purpose. So when you're thinking about your website, what should be on there? Well, you're going to go back to Journalism 101. You're going to be talking about who, what, why, when, and how. So they need to figure out what you have to offer, who you are, what you can do for them, how you can help solve their problems, all of these things. Where are you? All of this information is important because it's your story, and that's exactly what your website is. Like I said before, it is your marketing and salesperson. It's your evangelist for your company that tells everything that you have to offer. It tells about your story. It tells about your company. It tells about where you've been. It tells you where you want to be, and it tells you what you can do for your customers. If it be customer reviews, testimonials. It can be pictures of your customers that are enjoying your space, that are enjoying your product, that are enjoying your services. All of that is going to create a stronger emotional connection for these potential customers. And in order to reach this new audience, you need to have new strategies. You need to have new strategies in place so that you're able to really have a strong pull and a really strong connection with this new audience. So keep that in mind. Now, when we're talking about this, there are different ways to have a website. There are ones that are made for you. There are ones that are canned. When we're talking about a canned website, that's one where we're talking about that it has templates, and it's basically you manipulate the templates in order to create what you want. So for this we're thinking, and canned is really the way that everything's kind of moving out there. If we're talking WordPress, they're not calling them templates, they're calling them themes. And so you're able to, if you try to do a WordPress site, the first thing they're going to have you do is either do it yourself, work with a developer who either is going to work with a theme that you choose, or they might have a theme that they've made themselves. They might go in there and take the thing that you like and just clean up all the code. So when you're thinking about that, you really need to think about what is the visual aesthetic that you want, what colors do you want. We're talking about style guide. What kind of fonts do you like? How large is it going to be? What colors are really going to be evoking the kind of message that you want. Are you more into the blues? Are you more into the greens, the reds? And that really is a choice that you really kind of have to have in place, so that when you're talking to someone, if you hire someone to make that website for you, they're going to have to do a lot of drafts if you don't have something at the table that you're willing to say, this is what I'm looking forward to, this is what I want, this is what I need it to kind of evoke. So really keep that in mind. You need to have your ducks in a row so that you're able to really kind of convey the message you want, because those graphic designers and those web developers, they are amazing, but they are not psychic. So make sure that you're out there and you really have an idea of what you're wanting. Think about this. It really needs to create an experience that your customers are going to love. And more importantly, you need as little friction as possible. So when I say friction, what do I mean? Well, what I'm talking about is, let's say that I go online and I want to shop at a store. And in the process of picking what I want and getting to that cart and paying for it, there's just too many steps. There's too many places for me to get frustrated, so that I stop and I leave and I don't give you any of my money. Well, that's friction. We want as little of that as possible. We want the UX, the user design, to be very friendly. We want it to make sense and be intuitive, so that when your customer is on your site, not only are they seeing the presence, the visuals that we've been talking about that evoke what you have, but more importantly, it makes sense to them. You've created a website that works for them, not for you. It shows your message, but it's easy for them to be able to figure out, how do I get what I need? How do I contact them? How can I use this product? How can I use this service or company? So keep that in mind. The other options you have are Wix and Squarespace. There are others, but those are really those two and WordPress are really the three that were really up and coming right now. Those are the main ones that you're going to see across. WordPress is the most widely used, and there are ways to do it with or without code. There is a software called BoldGrid that you can utilize with WordPress if you don't want to do any coding, but you do want a WordPress platform. So it essentially makes it more click and drag friendly for WordPress. And then you have Wix and Squarespace, which do offer a lot of options for you. Just make sure that whether or not you're making it DIY or you're hiring someone, just be very clear of your image, be very clear of your aesthetics and what visuals you want to use, and make sure that you're telling your story and that it's user-friendly for your customers. So thank you so much. I know that's a lot of information, but I hope that it is really informative for you, and it'll kind of start some more questions if you are a small business that's thinking about getting a website started. Like I said, it's 2016, almost 2017. There's no excuses, guys. There's a lot of options out there for you. So I hope that you will use this and kind of keep this conversation going. Please reach out to me at cgarnett@roanoke-chamber.org if you have any further questions or would like to meet about your website or marketing needs at the Roanoke Regional Small Business Development Center. Thank you guys so much. Have a great holiday season, and we will see you next week. Bye.